Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to GameStar TV. My name is Kit Fox. I'll be your host for the remainder of the evening, and it's my pleasure to be bringing you this evening of Heroes of the Storm action. If you have just joined us, we had Trump Sports versus TL Vid on Towers of Doom. Trump Sports came out on top with Lahal picking himself up a nomination for the headset thanks to Plantronics. And speaking of Plantronics, we would just like to give a quick thank you to our sponsors. Plantronics, the official headset sponsor. Blizzard ANZ for all the sweet, sweet skins and bundles we'll be giving away later on. Stay tuned for that. That is huge. Player.me, Challenge, and XSplit, all thanks to Split Media Labs. And without the support of those people, there would be no prizes. So once again, thank you. We've got a Swiss format ladder for the 5 weeks. That's right, you heard correctly, as opposed to the previous 4. But the way we're going to run it this time is that instead of accumulating points over those 5 weeks, we are only going to count the best 4. So you can afford to have one pretty poor week. So only your best 4 weeks will count, but you will get the chance to play across those 5 weeks. Now, teams that do actually play for all of the 5 weeks will get themselves some skins thanks to Blizzard ANZ, and that is all players' choice as well. I do believe it's 3 or something like that as well. Don't quote me on that, but I believe it's quite juicy. So play all 5 weeks, get skins. It doesn't really get much better than that, and that is only open to teams who don't qualify for cash prizes. So once again, if you qualify for the cash prizes, you don't get the skins. So we've got the official maps in the Blizzard map pool. This week we've got Towers of Doom, which you just saw. The Infernal Shrines is up next. Then we have Battlefield of Eternity, Sky Temple, and Tomb of the Spider Queen. And as you just heard, we are going to Infernal Shrines. This time we've got Legion versus Onyx United. So once again, I'm going to pass you back over to Skinny and Vandy for Legion and Onyx.
Cheers there, Kitty. And here we go. Team Legion up against Onyx United, 2 relatively unknown teams, but good to get yourself out there and actually give it a go in the competitive circles. So, as already mentioned at the start, the biggest turnout we've ever had with 17 signups, which is, it can't be understated enough. It's a huge turnout. We had, I think, at one stage, Vandy, like 4 teams only showing up. Then we had 8 consistently for the summer, and now for season 2, 17 to start off things with. That's a cracker.
That's a win in our eyes. So great to see. We're all excited here.
So we're just waiting on one final member to join into the lobby and we can get this underway. But Infernal Shrines, this should be no surprise to anybody in the community. It's been the most loved and cherished map for a long time now. Second to none, really, to be quite frank. And I can see them in the lobby right now trying to get some synergy going with the avatar portraits.
They want to show a consolidated team front right there. And on Infernal Shrines as well, you've got to stay as a consolidated team. What would you say, Skimmy?
Well, at the end of the day, it's all those mind games, isn't it? You know, if you guys all look like you're wearing the same uniform, you've shown up for work, you're here to, make a statement.
Yeah, exactly. You got to dress your part and do the time, and the rest is history.
So in terms of this, I mean, we saw a little bit of a preview of those meta picks last game, especially with the Lucio coming in as the 5th and final to solidify things. But we saw the Tyrael being banned away. It sort of hinders to that whole idea that you can imagine if Tyrael was on the opposite team, that would have really deleted a lot of that potential to get players blown up. But I expect as tonight progresses on, and even in the coming weeks, we're going to see some heavy 2, 3, maybe even 4 melee sort of centric comps, really based around the idea of a Lucio or a Tassadar or even a Tyrael, just to sort of act as that way of, accelerating the potential to get into fights or, even run out and find picks.
Exactly right. I mean, that Tyrael sort of Tyrael's just place in sort of the meta. He's just feels such a nice void in when you need the sort of someone to mitigate that AoE damage. But Lucio's come along to help sort of supplement the same effect to a lesser extent as we sort of saw from the previous game. So yeah, I really like, I guess, Tyrael. But I'm not sure how much we're going to see him being picked up with the whole Bruiser and sort of Warrior change that we've sort of seen shake up things.
Yeah, I don't have much data at this stage to really go on to see how the rest of the world is really taking it on. It's such a difference already between Western and Eastern when it came to both clashes. I mean, the thing that really caught me off guard was the fact that the Chinese teams seemed to like Zagara, and I was trying to, in my head, justify the means, but Zagara's been deleted off the map for such a long time. I couldn't really put it into perspective. And even like Lunara, for example, Lunara taking a whole heap of love from the Korean squads. It's good to sort of see what different regions and players value.
Exactly right. And I mean, we always sort of said that ANZ has its own little scene down here and their own way of doing things. But from that previous game, I was sort of seeing just a universal, almost just similar to what we saw being played in the HGC series from both the American and European teams, more so than the Korean teams. They've always got their own little thing going on over there. But yeah, very on meta right now and very on making sure that they prioritize those high tier champions.
So we'll have to see if it's going to be the sort of same story as last game in terms of banning away those crucial picks from that melee trifecta. But you could almost say there's a ranged trifecta when it comes to like Valo, Greymane, and Li Ming. But Kael'thas has been slowly making a resurgence. I'm sure if we see a Kael'thas combined with an Arthas, it's going to be a bit of a throwback to when Arthas was first released. So you just mold it into any kind of team composition, almost the same way that Valo can be picked up in any scenario and do well.
Yeah, definitely. And I guess what makes Kael'thas so strong on something like Infernal Shrines is that living bomb, just being able to clear out and dish out the damage, so many targets to jump to and deal that damage. So definitely we have seen Kael'thas creeping back in as one of a mage, I guess because the other mages have been fiddled around with a bit as well. So he's finding his place again, finding his footing. But in saying that as well, you really want, I guess, a strong sort of team that can, I guess, clear out the little dudes, as we coin them in our region, nice and fast. So those are the sort of heroes such as Kerrigan. We've got the Sylvanas that we sort of seen picked there. We've got Sonya's, Greymanes, even Falstad's, Tassadars, those sorts of people. And Zul even. Just You want to make sure that you can get in there. You can sort of split a lane, but then also when it comes to that objective, clear it out, take it nice and quick, push with it John Cena that pops out.
Oh. Somebody DC'd there halfway through the draft that's actually cancelled it, but those two picks that we did see before, they were Lucio and Dehaka. So to really to carry on your point, Sylvanas being picked up so early on, it's an interesting choice. Sylvanas was typically for a long time, especially when this map came out, a go-to pick, but we've sort of found in recent times that people almost overvalue the ability to negate structures, and their comp is a little bit weak to even get themselves in that kind of point. But, with Malfurion being taken off the board, same with Ragnaros, Dehaka gives them a solid global opportunity, potential for them to go for the Falstad later on. But Lucio means they've got a strong healer to start things off with, and they're going to be dropping the beat like last time.
Dropping the beat, exactly right. And really, I couldn't summarize why we've seen a little bit less of Sylvanas around, because it's exactly that. Sometimes by picking her, you're sort of, I guess, just weakening your overall team comp, because if you're not getting those objectives, she can feel almost like a little bit of dead weight. She still gets that split, as you said, but as we know, her hero damage isn't that high. So realistically, you want to try and get someone that can fill both roles effectively, be that damage dealer, as well as take the objective as a specialist and push. So just always that balancing act that you try to see in the game.
And, at the end of the day, you don't want to pull a Misfits and, think you're the bee's knees and then lose a game to Nomia, who's, a minor region shrug.
Yeah, exactly. And then, so it looks like we've got the draft back on, and looks like we're just picking through what we've sort of seen, so we can get back to the next few picks.
Yeah, get back to the next few ones. So, the Lucio here with the Dehaka, same as last game, allows him to get in the face of things, because, innately he has no ability to mount. That's compensated by the fact he can burrow across the map at his own leisure. So, giving him a bit of movement speed, and you'd be surprised that Dehaka actually does a surprisingly big amount of DPS if left to his own devices. So that helps out one of his core problems of contributing to those team fights. But, we might see them go even further and deeper into that and add to the, sort of the chaos with the Sonyas and Tassadars potentially.
Yeah, exactly. And just touching on Dehaka a little bit more as well, he really does do a lot of damage, as well as just being that soaker right there. He wants you to focus him. That's the issue with Dehaka. You think that, once again, we saw it. You think that you're getting him down, he burrows in, pops his ultimate, and then there you go. He's back to full health, and he's popped his trade as well. So, yeah, really, you don't want to focus him.
Frustrating.
You want to leave him alone.
Yes.
To deal with. Exactly.
It's pretty tilt-worthy when you view it in that manner. But, Diablo, the Lord of Terror himself, he's actually really good for this map. A few maps where he does accelerate on in close quarter fights, and the ability to fight around a shrine and bash you into a wall, so to speak, causes all kinds of problems. But they lock in the Rhaegar, so An interesting choice there, suggesting that with Malfurion being banned away on their side and Lucio being picked up so early, they want to guarantee themselves a reliable cleanse choice, and they don't want to sort of leave that to chance.
Yeah, Team Legion was also just sort of down to the wire there with their time in picking, so they're just making sure that they get the team that they want. We are still seeing Zarya left up on the board here, Skimmy, and I mean, Zarya as well is sort of just one of those heroes that we see a lot of bans going on, and with good reason. She can just really get in there. She feels that almost similar role to Dahaka, providing damage, providing support. We've always touched on it, and also setting up fights on a smaller map like this, where you've got great expulsion zone sort of areas and chokes. She can be quite nasty to deal with.
Absolutely, and it's the same sort of sentiment you could apply then to like the duo tank princes, so to speak, with ETC and Mirrodin, the most overall solid kits that haven't really been touched or affected by this tanking reworks sort of change as such. But Anub'arak is going to feel the wrath of the banhammer. He's been taken off the board. He has been changed in a slight degree to mean he's viable as a solo tank, but I've been playing him a few times in double, even triple tank comps, and he still holds his own in the DPS department.
Yeah, surprising to see though, isn't it?
What it is. I mean, he's always been so frustrating to play against. Cocoon hasn't really been used for such a long time. It just doesn't seem to be really accommodating for the meta we have right now, where it's either a whole bunch of CC and blow somebody up, or just pure aggression, run into your face and overwhelm you with pressure. And talking about pressure, Chromie is being taken off the board, so they don't want any backline fun antics going on there where somebody gets deleted and, you never see the light of dawn again.
True, and what can make Chromie excel so much on this map is just how much fog of war there is on the map. She can really just dart in and out of that fog, as well as just stand out of range, which makes her skill shots much, much more easier to land. So like you said, before you know it, you just chunked and out of the team fight. So yeah, they don't want that long-range poke, and we're seeing a very similar team comp sort of picked up here by Onyx United.
Yeah, I mean, Onyx United are going to go for the ETC, arguably one of the best tanks in the game, and they're going to complement that with the Valis. So does give me opportunity to then combine a Rain of Vengeance with a Mosh Pit and lock down people for heavy burst and control, but means they can actually transition with Tassadar still available, or even the Zarya. They can potentially pick up one of those two to give that Vala that hyper carry with the double support.
And that's something that you just don't want to see Vala doing. When she becomes that hyper carry, as you can sort of see when we saw Tommy playing her last game, paired off with Demise's Li Ming, like it was true terror towards the end game there. And I'm wondering now, when you are Team Legion, just who are they going to prioritize and pick first? It's just hard to say. They're leaving all their picks right down to the wire.
Well, I was just going to say they need some reliable control to sort of keep themselves in check if ETC.
As well, yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely.
I was going to say, right then, they literally had no response except for Diablo. And if he shadow charges in, that's not really the best opportunity for them to interrupt it. So a lot of that's going to be relying on Kael'thas to hit the gravity laps. Arthas has been picked up, so you said they needed a bit of damage. Kael'thas obviously is going to bring that with the Living Bomb. But Arthas himself as well, he's incredibly beefy now, but he can spec and do a lot of damage at the same time, especially with the Frostmourne Hungers build.
Yep, and as we sort of said, this is reworked Arthas that we're playing with as well. You've seen, I guess, a bit of reworking and tweaks in happening, but it just means that anyone that gets near him is going to sort of stay CC'd, and that's a really interesting pick to see that Valeera right there.
The Valeera, I didn't expect to actually come out, to be quite honest.
Me neither.
I'm just trying to think in my head the reasoning behind it. Potentially they're looking to execute a squishy like last game with the Sylvanas or the Kael'thas. Pick potential, not as prevalent as last game, but they do obviously have the speed boost to chase down targets. So somebody with a lack of mobility such as the Kael'thas, yeah, they're going to be definitely on their A game. So we'll have to see if he goes for the Convection at level 1 or if he just goes for a regular Arcane Barrier and sort of live for as long as possible idea.
See how strong the mind games are, because as we sort of said, that Valeera might be filling that role of the Zeratul that we had last game, where sort of waiting on the flanks, making sure that you can just get a pick. But in saying that as well, it's a bit dangerous with that Diablo and Arthas around. If she goes anywhere near them, she's probably going to get blown up. So Bookro are going to need to be, just playing his A game.
This Valeera is going to be essentially a god, just like Rogues in World of Warcraft, where you break your keyboard and that's the end of that. So we're going to load things up here on the Infernal Shrines. It's round number 2 of Season 2 on the ANZ road to the HGC. And on the left-hand side, it is Onyx United making their debut here with Gamester. And we're going to read it out from the very top. It's Nafi playing Lucio, Bullcrow on Valeera, Chucky playing Dahaka, The Batron on Valor and Iron Tarkus is rocking it on ETC.
And red team, we've got Team Legion also making their debut with Legolam on Diablo, Space Phoenix playing Kael'thas, Braid Junez on Arthas, Prox on Rhaegar, and MZ Hyde playing Sylvanas.
MZ Hyde, I think Miz, maybe? Miz Hyde?
I was thinking it was Miz, but I like
You never know. Somebody will probably say we assume their gender and we'll have all kind of legal lawsuits. So
feel free to correct us after the game. We're more than welcome to...
let's not go down that pathway. We're going to get lawsuits for days. But actually, speaking of it, yeah, Convection was taken at level 1, so he's looking forward to numbers. Same with Eternal Hunger. So Frostmourne is going to be hungering this game. And Life Leech, also another interesting choice here at level 1, opting for that instead of the Armor Duration.
Yeah, I mean, interesting as you said, but perhaps he's got the sort of longer game inside. And oh my gosh, we're seeing so much damage come out of Kael'thas. There you go. There's some stacks coming into Convection right there.
CC for days, and well, ETC's just gone like that. Not the tankiest of tanks, but a frustrating one nonetheless. But even he couldn't milk those.
He couldn't milk those. Indeed. But they're settling into their lanes now with Bullcrow just making sure that he just soaks enough, but his roam potential might be cut off unless they get a swap happening here for him. Valeera is not the best laner. You don't really want to waste Valeera's time in the lane.
No. It's kind of the same idea of when you have Zeratul in a map where your comp doesn't really have the strongest laners, and you kind of just keep Zeratul there just to soak. So potentially the same idea here for the Valeera, but she's not going to be as strong in that department due to her lack of weight. That's one of her huge negatives. But look at this Space Phoenix. He's in the middle of nowhere, and he was looking for more Convection stats, up to 3, but he's playing very aggressively to make sure he doesn't die.
Oh, there we go. The patience really paying off there. Oh, but just making sure they didn't want to commit too hard. Space Phoenix could have very easily lost his Convection stacks here. There's all important stacks.
Yeah, exactly, and that's
Playing
exactly not what he wants. It actually tilts you so hard when you're at, say, like 18 or 19 stacks, and then you just die, and you think, why do I even play this game? But talking of the top lane, I mean, we got the two solo laners. Dahaka, obviously the king of the jungle when it comes to that. But Arthas, if you throw it back a few patches, Arthas was a bit of a niche flex pick for that solo lane role. And when it comes to this lane matchup, a lot of it's really dictated by how well the Arthas plays. Because if he bullies the Dahaka, Dahaka actually has a hard time in that matchup until at least he reaches a few levels on and can acquire a lot of those minion stacks to keep himself sustained with the essence. So interesting to see how that match will pan out. But Nafi, I think, also having connection problems potentially from Melbourne as well.
Who knows? It's that Aussie internet going on. But like you said, just gives us a moment to catch our breath, analyze the game without it being all a whirlwind of team fights. So always welcome. As long as he comes back, we want him to come back.
We'd like to think they come back. They don't just give up, especially on your debut. You know, it's all courtesy, and you know, get your esports fans out there. Look, Mum, I'm on TV. All those kind of shenanigans.
In terms of who's positioned well to sort of get that shrine right there, we're seeing a lot of members of Onyx United just ready and in position. So with, I guess, Valeera just sort of bringing up the rear. But that's a good thing with Valeera. Yes. You can catch those stragglers as they sort of rush in. So no dramas there. And the first Punisher will be a Mortar one. So it's not the end all, I guess, if you get that. Some argue that the Mortar Punisher is the weakest, but he's got a lot of zoning potential and could do quite a good push, especially if Team Legion get it. Because with the Sylvanas, as we said, you can go far with those Punishers.
Well, that's it. You know, Sylvanas is the double-edged sword. You know, when you're winning, you're winning harder and you win further. But you know, when you're up against it, it feels like a bit of a dull pick there, where you're thinking, I'm literally just here to clear lanes and push. So, I mean, you can sort of see the idea with Valeera, Bullcrow there waiting in the wings, like you mentioned, looking to try and pick up a squishy target. And little does he know that they're way gone, and a lot of them actually coming back from the base too. But looks like the guys are ready. So we should be up and ready to rock and roll in just a second.
Love how musical we're going.
I'm just like,
Perfect. And we're back into the action right now. So they're not rushing straight into it as I thought they would. They're just wanting to set up that trap there in the fog.
Yeah, I think it's down to Bullcrow, really, isn't it? It's like they want to wait for him to find a pick.
They really, really do. They're just waiting to see sort of what he can sort of tell them. But in saying that, they kind of have sort of given up that space right now. So they could be in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, they're going to clear that lane in and they're going to start making their assault on towards the point. And this is the Clown Fiesta 5v5. Everybody getting amongst it. ETC with a huge power slide, spreading the opportunity. But talking about huge power slides, if you clump together, this is when Living Bomb does work. And just like that, 4 members on the side of Onyx United are down to half, Andy. And without that AoE healing at an immediate proc, they're going to make sure Lucio is on their tail. But there goes the clip again. ETC getting blown up. Not good news when the tank is the first to drop. And they might once again have to sacrifice and run away. You know, Bullcrop is trying to get those picks. He's looking for a pick on a tank of all things as well. Maybe trying to go for a 1-for-1, saying you take ours, we'll take yours. But look at that. Kelfast just loves it. Stay around a little bit longer, please. Give me more time to drop fire. And 2 members go down. But looking at the score, I mean, looking at the health bars, certainly more should have dropped there, Vandy.
I know, it was so close right there. Pretty sure Valera was on like negative health, just running away to safety. But it's going to be hard. And sorry, did I say it was a Mortar Punisher? Never mind, the icon just didn't tell me it was an Arcane Punisher. My bad.
Arcane Punisher. Do you even play this game, Vandy? Do you just turn up?
I claim the 4 streak, but there's no trouble right there. It's going to be a big push, especially with that Solaris. Needs to focus on the turret though. Not sure why he's focusing all his efforts on the wall there.
Yeah.
Disabling the main fortification with that Punisher from Liver.
Yes, negating a lot of the reason why you actually picked that hero, but nonetheless, another DC, so same person, same issue. So yeah, definitely having a rough time there, whether or not mobile internet is an opportunity. I know it's definitely my go-to, my crutch, my backup, my wingman, my go-to, but talking about level 4 talents, a big thing I actually wanted to bring up here at level 4, which is usually not the case, is Energy Royal. So that means when the Gravity Lapse does connect with a hero, its cooldown is reduced significantly by 9 seconds to be specific. And I think the reasoning really, when you consider it behind it, is one, we need to have a reliable way to interrupt that ETC. But also, if I get jumped upon by that Valera, I need to make sure that at a moment's notice, I have a get out of jail card. You know, I can sort of heal myself, wait for my team to respond, because you know you can imagine, you can bet your bottom dollar, Diablo and Arthas will just turn and try and blow Bullcrop up.
Yeah, they'll be gunning for him. So yeah, definitely good to see that Energy Royal right there. Not a common talent that we see, but well picked up and well noticed right there. And also, I mean, we see him get pretty close now. He's almost halfway to his conviction talents. It's only been almost 4 minutes into the game, so making good headway. Just wanting to make sure that he does not get picked off by Bullcrow right there, because he's in a bit of a situation on. If you look at
yeah. And you can see Bullcrow's going, this is literally my time to shine. This is what I've been waiting my entire life for, entire 3 minutes, 51 seconds for.
Exactly. I mean, Bullcrow only needs to hit one of his abilities. He'll get 2 combo points, and that's enough to eviscerate and sort of kill Kael'thas with, unless that Gravity Lapse sort of hits. But we'll see. We'll see.
We'll have to see. He might just potentially open with the Garrett and just go for that. But I'd bet your bottom dollar it's a cheap shot and then blow up and hope that you got the DPS.
Yep, that's what I'm thinking too. But I don't know. And looks like we've got a player back. Naffy's back in the game. Good to see. Not sure if he's going to like where the bot sort of placed him though.
Yeah, he's going to come back in and feel
rather betrayed. Speed away. Oh,
speed away into the grave. Off you go.
Poor thing. It's always rough.
But Kael'thas is gone. We missed it. We missed it on our side, but
we knew it was happening.
We knew it was going to
happen.
See
if it was Garrett or Cheap Shot. And there you go. That's 8 stacks down the drain. So he's going to be hurting for that one. Maybe just getting a little bit overconfident, forgetting about that Valera right there.
Yeah, you know, it's potentially the reasoning why Bullcrow picked it up, knowing that they're going to go a comp in that kind of regard, and saying, well, I can definitely find a lot of value with this pick in mind. And at the end of the day, a lot of these picks that you'll see in these tournaments, they might not be down to generally the meta, but more so the comfort picks for these players.
Definitely so. And I mean, I feel like Valera could be strong. It's just that she doesn't quite have the playmaking abilities as, say, Spiritual. She doesn't have that Void Prism at her disposal. She is a slippery character. She's one of my favorite characters. I just think she's just sort of finding her place in professional play.
Yeah, she's... I actually at one point said that she's a poor man's Zeratul, but we've seen, especially in tournament play, that that sentiment can definitely be taken back, and even Glaurung, I think it was, showed us how it's really done. But talking of talents, just before this next shrine comes up again, I'm still so fascinated with this Kael'thas build. At level 7, he's gone for Sun King's Fury, which means the living bombs that spread will do more damage. And if it's anything to go by with that last Infernal fight, that's going to, only amplify even further and make things even more difficult for Lucio to sustain and keep up with.
Yeah, I mean, Lucio's going to have his work hard cut out. He is the right man for the job, but Kael'Thas just making sure that he gets as much of that area of effect damage as possible with Living Bomb. And he's also trying to look at getting those convection powers right back up, because he still does 0.
It's just such a weird build. It's really thrown me off, because like it's a little bit of everything, but why not? A bit of sugar and spice and everything nice.
That does sound nice.
Or they're going to go in for it, Legoland. This is why you pick Diablo. Punched into a wall. Is that a tree? Either way, that will definitely hurt. And Arthur's tanking 4 members on his own. He's not phased. Doesn't even need Army of the Dead. He can live for days. And Bullcrow in the top right corner of your screen. He's being sneaky. Yes, he's down to half himself. Looking for someone low. Bray Junis knows he's there. He goes in there with the Frozen Tempest. Space Phoenix getting greedy. Tried to get the Gravity Lapse. Bullcrow forced to retreat. And this time it's a Mortal Punisher.
You don't need to rub it in, that's fine. This time I waited, no worries. But yeah, like you said, Space Phoenix right there, we saw all that Living Bomb damage go in, all initiated by Diablo. Being such a strong tank, and that's why you pick him, that's why he's a great pick. Just great lockdown coming out, especially for a single target.
Single target indeed. Let's see if there's any difference this time with the Sylvanas. Being disabled now. But yeah, like you said, the focus and the ability to amplify it, not getting as much value as you could if we're talking min-max to the finest degree. But the veteran was taking a huge beating from the Immortal. And does live to fight another day. Was debating about tapping the well there, which I would advise against. But with this control, with level 10 in mind, this gives Team Legion the ability to go straight through the jungle and pick up every mercenary camp.
Exactly, so Bullcrow just trying to act a bit of a scout for his team, but there's not much he can do. But we've got Ms. Hyde sort of in a lot of trouble there, just getting overextended, too greedy.
Yeah, you pay the price if you you don't play nice. And Bullcrow running past Space Phoenix, he's actually learned his lesson, saying I'm not going to let you jump me last time. I am a bit more topped up, but same situation will not take place here. It's actually a similar spot on the map it would have been too, but no, they go for the Merc in the middle. They're going to go down to the bottom lane, it seems, as well, and clear this out for free. And level 10 has been picked up on the opposite side. What was interesting was I was wondering if Kael'Thas, given his build, was going to go for Pyroblast, and that would have justified the means to go Cloak of Shadows for Valeera, but he's got it anyway. Yeah,
definitely. I mean, maybe feeling a little bit threatened right there, thinking of a longer game and what to expect, especially with all that Living Bomb damage. Oh, huge mosh going out now, Skimmy.
Yeah, the mosh pit does connect on through, and they're looking for more damage. And Ancestral is going to come in time on the big target himself, it's Diablo, but what can he bring? APOC onto everybody, but there's no team to follow up. Arthas and Sylvanas twiddling their thumbs in the mid lane, and they're going to be a little bit too late to join the party. Camp is picked up this time by Onyx United. They're going to even out the deficit. They're going to push in through bot, and they're going to pick up some much needed XP.
Yep, they've definitely shown that they're still in this game right there, and really a lot of that has to do with ETC's mosh. He's hit his power spike, and this is why ETC earns that title of being perhaps one of the best tanks in the game. That setup, that lockdown, that's why you pick ETC.
That's why you pick ETC indeed, and there's the Wailing Arrow to start things off here with the base defense by this bottom full. Flip, punch, and goodbye. Vala taken out for free. No response to that one. And they're playing very aggressively here. And Syndra goes to, of all things, Vandy. Oh my days. This and Sylvanas, this is the absolute dream for picking out full structures. And here's a dream. Let's pop Cloak of Shadows. Let's take out Kael'Thas. Phoenix does go down just as a zoning tool, if anything, because it's now a 1v1 between Valeera and Diablo. But on the point itself, Syndragosa comes across and it blasts everybody. ETC gone. The burrow, combined with the adaptations, enough to get Chucky out of harm's way. Nafi is there for the support and the peel, but just like that, the fight got turned on its head.
That was a great Syndragosa right there. Perfect straight line, making sure that they were all slowed for the retreat there. We do have two members still looking on. I'm not sure what they want to do here. Maybe regroup and try and get that on, but I think they should have just let it go. This is where you can just soak your camps.
Oh no, they're committing to it so high. You have to be careful because this Punisher is going to jump on one of them. Double Rain of Vengeance, Cloak of Shadows used as well, and even the Sound Barrier, all used to try and defend when it was 35-7. Not the best use there, but Now they have a difficult time defending this one. It looks like Team Legion don't even care about this one. They want to push a separate lane. They might even be trying to go through mid to get the keep, potentially.
There's a lot of, I guess, wasted time here where they could be taking the Merc camps, and I guess they're just not seeing it yet, where they're just wasting time now. Like, where have they gone mid? There's nothing to take there. The fort's down. Get those camps going or try and get a roam. It's a Dehaka is going to burrow away. It's just frustrating. You just want to tell them, like, you're missing something that can give you a bit of an edge.
Yeah, well, that's it.
They got the Dehaka. That's all right. Dehaka wasn't worried. I take it back.
All according to plan there, Vandy. They're going to prove you wrong.
I didn't need to be worried.
They get a great roam in the top lane there, which, yeah, I mean, it looked a bit questionable at times. You would think, especially with the Sylvanas, your whole goal would be, let's win these Immortals and let's push hard and let's get double structures when we should only usually be warranted one. But they go for the gank attempt. They're now going to go for the Shaman camp, which is arguably one of the best camps in the game for pushing power. And you'd expect them to see them go through mid or bot and get some split push on.
Definitely. I mean, the split push would not hurt them at all and give them, I guess, much more of an edge on the map currently. And they have taken their camps now. All is well in the world. They've got that map pressure going on. And we're seeing another team fight wanting to break out now.
Well, Mosh Pit is available. Actually, every ultimate across the board is available. There we go. Light them up. The combination between two and Ballcrow. Oh, Space Phoenix. Killfloss actually walked into the Mosh Pit and the 8-bot. A little bit too late because he couldn't pop it. He was locked up. Sindri Ghost does such a great job of keeping everybody slowed down. There's nothing that Lucio can do to keep them topped up. Prox is on 100. The Wolfman does finally drop. Two people, I should really say, on Team Legion have dropped as well. And it's beautiful execution there. All set up once again by your boy, ETC.
And by your boy, he's so patient as well. And Diablo getting picked up as well. Didn't think he fall, but he did. They need to be careful here. They don't want to sort of hang around because there's still a lot of CC at their disposal. Lucio can speed him in, and we've got Bullcrow on the flanks just waiting to sort of lock one up. And the Shrine is coming up as well, Skinny. So they're in a bit of a good position now, Onyx United.
Yeah, I mean, they're in a good position to set up for things with it spawning in 10 seconds. But mind you, Diablo will be respawning at the same time. So there won't be a significant disadvantage, but they'll definitely have a chance of recouping things there.
Exactly right. I mean, they are now one level behind, so they want to sort of make sure that they're playing these team fights a lot smarter, making sure that they're not wasting our XP.
Well, that's it. You know, as soon as that level 16 talent is hit, that's when you need to really be decisive with your shot calling and say we cannot afford to fight unless we feel stronger outright. And if I was them, I would not want to be fighting knowing how the way mosh pits work in these tight, organized spaces. Space Phoenix has to be so on point with these Phoenixes and these living bombs and try and justify the ends to meet. Right now, they're clumped up as 5. If you were ETC, your eyes would be popping out the back of your head.
He's still got 15 seconds. They don't quite know it, I think, that he's still on cooldown, so they're still playing as though he's got it up. But soon enough, 10 seconds, he can initiate with it soon.
Oh, there goes the APOC. This is huge right now. 4 people locked in and let the fire burn. They all go down. ETC with Mosh Pit now, but he can't cast it when he's dead. And just like that, the control. 16 has literally just been hit there, Vandy, and they just pull the trigger. Sylvanas, yes, sniped out there by Ballcrow. Cloak of Shadow's great to actually prevent the Shadow Charge from connecting. But, you know, 29 to 29, only 11 was needed, and they get aggressed upon.
It's so true. It was so well executed. And even we saw the black arrow? Wailing arrow, sorry. I'm getting confused between them both. So the wailing arrow going out, making sure they were all silenced. There was not going to be any mosh pit. Even if he did get it up, which he didn't, unfortunately, he did pass on. Let's have a moment. He wasn't going to be casting, not that time.
Oh, look at the game sense here from Space Phoenix, knowing this time that Ballcrow was waiting for him to walk on by. He is low on mana, and he didn't have Sylvanas to push this thing in with. But look at the peel from Nafi to pull the Punisher all the way from top down into the fog of war, just buying more time for them to set up and find the right pick. Mosh Pit, like we said, is available now. They need to clear this Punisher, otherwise they're going to feel the wrath of that being the one to break that CC.
Definitely Fevertron feeling the wrath, taking a lot of punches, unfortunately.
Yeah, well, Miss Hyde is coming in from the corner. She's looking for it. Ballcrow is going straight in, and it's actually completely out of mana. Gelfast, who does receive the Ancestral, makes sure that he stays up top healthy. 15% down to 10 now on this Punisher, and that keep is surely going to drop. They need to make some moves now, Onyx United. It's down to literally 1,600 health out of 14,000. It's so strong. There goes the mosh pit, finally 2 people collapse into it. The Waving Arrow is on point just before Sylvanas drops. Arthas follows suit, 2 for none right now. This is Onyx United pulling the trigger, saying we do not want to lose our keep, and we did not want to lose that Immortal. Let's get some kills. Another one goes down. Diablo, he does have the souls, back in 2 seconds. And can they get the clean sweep? No, they can't. The Wolfman runs away.
It was a nice fight right there, and like you said, that lack of the keep falling down has really given them some added pressure to stay into it. They're not going to have the catapults going in and making sure that they always feel pressed in on, and oh my god, Space Phoenix!
No!
He's got to get out of there!
Not like this, he's probably saying he gets taken out. Is he ever going to reach the conviction talent? This is that talking point we're discussing, and back down to 0, unfortunately.
This is where that talent now is becoming a dead pick, because every moment that quest is not... Oh, Prox! Oh, no!
It's a double not like this moment. He went for the camp, he literally passed it to the enemy team and had to run away because he didn't even reset himself after being so low after that last fight.
Bad luck. He was hoping the Space Phoenix would be enough of a tidbit for them to sort of lose interest, but no, they saw their positioning. They're going for the aggressive plays now, and that's actually a really good shot calling right there by Onyx United. It's almost, I guess, like what Nomia would do, and aggressive plays that Nomia would do on a different sort of level. So great to see them sort of thinking in this regard and reacting in such a strong fashion. Make sure they keep the advantage. Now they've got 2 levels, Skibby.
I was going to say, as a result of that, that allows them to keep this 2-level lead and find more kills. They take out the fort in the top lane. They go for the kill on Diablo with no souls. This time he is down for much longer, and that is perfect timing for the Shrine activating. This time they'll have a significant advantage because they're going to hit 20. They're going to be 4v5 or have a 5v4 in favor of them, and it just accelerates even further ahead with 20 advantage and the ability to end a game. It gets scary because look, now another target is caught out, wrong place, wrong time. Both your frontliners are gone. You literally have to play like a turtle now.
You've really got to armor on up, dig deep, and just sort of hold in for that longer game. And we can see Bullcrow, he's got great positioning as Valeera right there, so very admirable, playing her correctly, making sure that he's just being as patient as possible and not getting picked off and wasting a lot of time. That's what we want to see. That's where I guess Valeera could sort of shine. So great Valeera play right there, showing that she's not a dead pick in this team, not at all.
So they've been a big reason. They've been finding the information and the picks when needed. And they did a great siege there through the mid, getting a 3 fort, which means that Punisher's going to go straight towards the keep entrance. And that's not even going to be contested. Not one single little dude picked up here by Team Legion, as you'd like to say. And Walker's still waiting in the brush. He's looking for somebody to be silly, stupid, walk around and meet their demise.
And Onyx United, they've got their Punisher now. It's an arcane Punisher. It's beginning to be a late game Punisher, so they can potentially do a big push out of this if they play their cards right.
Or potentially, I mean, if this gets a good Punisher, if the Punisher does a good jump, and ETC's there for the slide afterwards, he doesn't have the ability to jump over walls, but he needs to break that gate as quickly as possible, because look how clumped up they are. Phoenix has been dropped, but straight away the response is Sandberry. Make sure everyone's tanky. Iron Tarkus, he is so low, but it doesn't matter because Vibratron on Valor's going to completely turn up. Finds 2. There goes the top. Look at that. Punisher goes for more. Torbush tried to be used, but the Gravity Lapse was so good that time coming out of Space Phoenix. But is it enough? The Punisher is gone. 1%, and now they begin the core siege. Space Phoenix, he could have potentially defended it, but he's going to get caught out. Wrong place, wrong time, unfortunately, once more. And with that, Onyx United take their first game, their debut here for the ANZ Road to HDC.
Well done, well played by both sides. It was a great game to watch, Skibby. It was so back and forth. It was, yeah, well done. And 3-level advantage at the end there. Not bad.
It was I would almost say a game of 2 halves as well. It seemed at the start they were a little bit shaky. But as the later fights sort of carried on and the talents were acquired, they sort of found their feet and how they wanted things to work on. And a lot of that came to, I think, ETC setting up for that team's success. But also, like you mentioned, the Bullcrow pick, the Valeera wasn't a null and dud. He actually had really good stats across the board, and he managed to find kills when he needed to.
Yeah, they dug deep for it. And I mean, Space Phoenix as well, every time he lost his conviction talents, just putting him back, giving him a dead sort of talent. And also his build, not quite committing to either sort of path, just didn't really end up working out. And Lega Lamb, he was getting some great Apocalypse sort of interrupts on Mosh. They were doing good at interrupting the Moshes. It wasn't really helping them because not the whole team was getting caught in these Moshes. And not towards the end. It was going to be 1 or 2 picks, and that's all they needed.
And with that in mind, would we be saying Borkro is the MVP?
I was thinking, but just hear me out on this one. I was thinking that perhaps it was going to be ETC that time with his plays. Those mosh pits are pretty on point, but in saying that, as I sort of said, Bullcrow was so on point as Valeera, so it's really a call. Just giving you another one to decide from.
Well, yeah, I mean, ETC, like you mentioned, had some good points. I'd personally give it to ETC as well, because a lot of that comes down to your tanks finding the opportunities for your Valor and whatnot to actually look good and accelerate from then on. So if that's your idea as well, then I'd have to give it to Iron Tarkus. All
right. Good one. So Iron Tarkus, congrats. You are MVP number 2 for this season's championship. Well, finals. Sorry, qualifiers. Oh my gosh.
Qualifiers. Well, it is essentially a championship qualifier.
Yes.
You could mold two phrases into one. But with that in mind, we're going to get ourselves ready for round number 3, guys. So don't go anywhere. Back to you, Kit Fox.
Thank you very much, Skinny and Vandy, for another amazing game. Well done to Onyx United for picking up the win over Legion. We're just going to take a quick break, ladies and gentlemen. All the results are in, so don't go anywhere. We'll be back right after this.